Hey, I'm Morgan Richards from Radio Cardiff, backstage here at Download Festival. I'm joined now by a man who I can only describe as the Ayatollah of rock and roller. It's of course the wonderful Chris Jericho of Fozzy.
Wonderful, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I was having a wonderful day here today. It was a great set. Started off early in the day, but there was, I don't know, 30,000 people come see us at 11 a.m. So it's a good way to kick things off for sure.
Okay, so things are good.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay, well, fantastic. So Chris, of course, Fozzy are finally back with fresh material with the release of your new single, Judas, recently. The reaction to this track has been quite phenomenal, getting over 5 million views online, just showing the excitement of the fans really have for it. For you, I'm sure it'd just be great starting things up again with the band and playing massive festival shows like this and just getting back all into it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've had successful songs before, but to have a song like Judas is just right out of the gate. I mean, it's been 5 weeks, like you said, with 5 million views on YouTube and just kind of all the buzz that it's received. And that's it's something we've never had before. It's just a completely different level for us. And like we just mentioned, to have that many people show up to see us on a Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Just all of the, I call it the Judas effect, all the stuff that's kind of transpired because of this Judas tornado, all the stuff being sucked in the whirlwind. Yeah. And it's a really good time. I think it's the right song at the right place, with the right video at the right time. Yeah. And also with the right band. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time. I think we've amassed a lot of goodwill. We slowly increase our fan base every album, every tour. And when Judas came out, I think there's a lot of people that were checking us out for the first time that had never heard Fozzy before. And when they check us out, they hear Judas, which might possibly be our best song. So it's just kind of been this perfect storm of all these great events that happened to get us to where we are today.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. And of course, behind the scenes, you've been working extremely busy towards the full body of work towards the next studio album. What's really the vibe and details going in with that at the moment? What can we really expect from the next Fozzy record?
If you like Judas, you're going to like the record, because the record is called Judas and it's going to be coming out in September. And you know, we wanted to release a single first and kind of reacquaint the world with Fozzy. We never expected it to be like this as far as how big it is. So now it's a very tactical move. The song to release is the next single before the record comes out. And the good news is, Judas wasn't even picked as the first single by a lot of people in the record company. I had to call the head of our record company and said, dude, Judas is the one. He agreed, and now we have 3 or 4 other candidates that are just as deep and dark and as catchy as Judas is. So it's a good position to be in. And so I think Judas came out with a bang, but it's still building in a lot of ways, especially on rock radio. It's still continuing to grow. And so instead of putting out a record, at the same time, we just put out the song, because now it can be all the focus on Judas for a month, 2 months, 3 months. If you put the record out now, it takes the focus away from Judas, people move on to the next one. We still think this song has a lot of legs. We think it should and could go #1. Especially in the States, so that's kind of what we're working towards, and then the record will be out in September as well.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And of course, Fozzy fans never really know what the band's schedule is going to be, with a lot of you being so busy away from the band, of course. You've attended stints with WWE, Rich works on many other projects and everything else in between. For you, is it quite frustrating sometimes that you only have a certain period together, or are you just glad with everything Fozzy has?
Fozzy's been the priority for all of us since 2010. So we do these other things when Fozzy's on break by design. And once Fozzy fires up again, there's nothing that's taking us away from Fozzy. So once the record comes out, we're back on the road. We're back over here in the UK in October and November, heading to Europe after that. We'll be back in the States again in September. So it's not like there's a stop and start thing. We intentionally took 2016 off from doing everything. It's like a very Iron Maiden thing to do, just be completely absent, knowing that in May of 2017 it'd be time to fire things up again. And that's how we structured everything, and that's how we did it. So now that Judas came out, and now in the summer, there's a little bit more of kind of a few spot shows here and there as we wait and build up the anticipation and promote the record. And when the record comes out, so that's the way that we planned it. That's the way that it's going to be.
Okay, well, fantastic. When you look at the evolution of Fozzy throughout the years, you've changed a whole lot. When you started as kind of a covers band, doing little bits like that, you've gained a lot of guest vocals in the work as well. Is that just a testament of how much you've come along since starting from day one?
Well, we still always have guest singers. Yeah. We appreciate guest guitar players. Usually on every Fozzy record, there's somebody on there of note. And I mean, the early days of the band, we played covers just like most bands. You know, so we had a couple records of cover tunes, but that was so long ago, like 2002. It's like a different lifetime. Yeah. And I think since we kind of rebranded the band in 2010 with Chasing the Grail up until now 2017 with Judas. I think the band has just improved and gotten better and gained so much steam with each album and each tour because, like you said, we're getting to know each other. It is now more of a focus. It is now more of a priority. We really think we can take this band to headlining download. That's my overall goal. Yeah. We love being on, kicking off the show and being on first, but I think anybody, your goal is to make it to the main stage. Great, we've done it twice. Now let's make it to the main event, the headlining band of the main stage of download. So, I mean, I think you always want to increase your goals and increase the projections of what you want to do, and I think the songwriting of the band now is the best it's ever been, and you can hear that. If you like Judas, you're going to like the rest of the songs on the record, and I think it's all going to culminate just taking us right to the next step.
Okay. Well, fantastic. And Chris, there's a couple more very quick things before you go. Of course, as we mentioned, you're always constantly busy either with Fozzy or your work with WWE, with many fans saying your recent run was some of the best work you've done in years. Of course, you mentioned the new single, Fozzy Bigger, better than ever before. Is everything just feeling much more better and just gaining that experience as you go on in both fields just make you that bit more happy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. Just all I ever wanted to do was be in a rock and roll band and be a wrestler. That's it. And with each success, what happens is you want more success. And then when you get that, you want more success. And then if you get less success, you want to get back to the success you had. So I think I'm a very driven person, and all the other things that I do are basically just offshoots of the fact that, I had these two dreams and was able to live them and make them happen. So when podcasting comes up, or writing books comes up, or acting, or hosting shows, or whatever it may be, it's just a natural progression for me for what I set out to do when I wanted to get into the rock and roll game, get into wrestling. So it's a great time for me, and it's a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice, but it's paying off, and continuing to grow and evolve and reinvent myself. That's very important for me and for the band.
Yeah, well, perfect. And just to kind of round this off, of course, you're going to come to the back in the UK in October for a full Fozzy tour. What else can we expect from you now coming up?
Well, like I said, I mean, that's the next thing for the record. Come out in September, then we'll be back over here in October and November, and we'll continue doing what we started, finish what we started over here today, or continue. So we love the UK. It's always been great to us. It's always been one of the biggest countries for Fozzy: Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales, and it's like a homecoming for us to come back to the UK, and we're really glad to be back here now today. So
yeah, okay. Oh, cool. Perfect. Well,
thanks,
thanks, Chris. Pleasure to speak to you, and hoping to speak to you again.